Welcome back, I'm Paul, and today is Sunday, so it's time to go through the 12-pound barrel and see how things are looking. Can't really see a lot. There's so much water. You can kind of see some of the rocks sticking through. Looks about the same as always. Not as much red tint as last week, but a little bit. I've got high hopes for today. I hope there's a bunch of stuff ready to move on so we can get some new stuff in the barrel, but we'll see. There's our first load. That's that piece of quartz we've been doing, and the really white piece of quartz. Looking good. And that piece of banded iron formation, I believe. It sure does look like it to me, but I'm no expert. I didn't put a lot of new stuff in last week, so as long as we have some stuff that comes out today, we should have room for some new stuff today. Got our big piece of petrified wood. Alright, here's the last little basket of goodies. Alright, I'll go through those and see what's ready to move on, and when we come back we'll take a look at all that stuff, what we took out, and whatever we're going to put in new. Well, we've got a pretty good amount of stuff coming out this week. Not too bad. We've got this large green rock that we've been rolling for a while, and it's looking really good, so it's ready to move to the next stage. And then this one, I think last week I looked at it and figured it would be ready this week, and it is. The mark that was on it is completely gone. You can kind of see it's got some kind of a neat pattern. It's just a gray rock, but I think it should shine up nice. The one piece of rose quartz that we'd put in is done and ready to move on. And then we've also got this large red rock that's all smoothed out and ready to move to the next stage. And then also we've got this little stripey rock that we found in landscaping. That's all. It was pretty smooth to start with, but it's all ready for the next stage. And then some other random things that we had in there. And a lot of those that are in there yet are, they have a flaw that I basically can't get rid of it, or I'd tumble the rock away to nothing. So we'll just put it in our misfit batch. And they still shine up. Just got to spend more attention when you're rinsing them off. And then we've got this piece of granite with the quartz band that ran through it. And it keeps breaking right there where the quartz is. And it looks like it's fractured all the way through. So instead of wasting our time on it anymore, it's just something that we found in our rocks around the house. I think we're going to give up on that one for right now. So that one's coming out also. So we've got our big one that we've been rolling for a while, and it's looking really good. It needs some time yet before I'm going to be ready to polish it, but it's actually moving along quite well. And then we've got our really white piece of quartz. It hasn't been in there long yet, and you can see there's some pretty good flaws in it, like right there, and It's not bad really, but there's still some spots that need to get smoothed down a little bit before we're ready to do anything with it. And then our other piece of quartz that had the dirty spots in it, and they're looking pretty good. They're actually, there's just a little bit of rough right there, and then this one right here. And maybe next week we'll see what it looks like. There's a spot right there where it looks like that little piece is about ready to break off, and then there's also one right there. But we'll see what it does. Like I say, it's just a piece we found, and not too worried about it, but we'll see what it looks like. And then we've got this piece of banded iron formation, or biff. It only really has I think it's called hematite on the bottom there, and then there's one really thin band that's running right through there that you can kind of see, but it's got some pretty good Mars on the top yet. The bottom, or well, this side I should say, doesn't look so bad. There's a couple little spots, but this side has got some, it's going to take some time. But that's a pretty neat piece. I like that. And then we have this pink rock. It's actually coming along pretty well. It's got a pretty good spot in it right there that's going to take some time. And a few little spots here and there. But other than that, as a whole, it's a pretty decent, it's a good sized rock, and there's not a lot wrong with it. It doesn't look like it really has any fractures in it, so it could turn out nice. And then there's a piece of Arizona petrified wood. It's still got a long ways to go, but it's rounding off nice. It's looking good. And we have the mookaite. This piece has got one little spot right there, and this one has got a little hole in it right there, and this one is pretty well, it's about ready to move on, but it's got a couple little things that I can't get rid of. So I'm going to run all three of these one more week, and I'm thinking next week they'll probably get pulled. And we've got our piece of amethyst. It's looking pretty nice, and the gray stuff on the top is really grinding off of there. So I'm hoping another week or two and that will be ground off, and then we'll start cleaning up the top of it so it's amethyst all the way around. The bottom here, that might be gone next week or the week after also. It's cleaning off of there pretty nice, but as a whole, the amethyst is looking really nice. I think we might put some more of that in today. And then this is our two pieces of tiger eye, the blue tiger eye. I looked up the way that the light shimmers on it. It's called chatoyancy. So that's the term that they use to describe that. I don't know if I can get this. You can kind of see the light flicker on all the strands, essentially. It looks like strands. So that's looking pretty good. Actually, it just has one little spot, and that one will probably be ready to move on next week. Well, that spot might take more than a week, I guess. And then we have our petrified wood that we threw in last week. And this stuff's starting to look pretty nice. It's only been in 1 week, but it didn't have a lot of flaws with it. But this face of this right here, you can see right here, it's got some rough spots that we're going to work on getting that out. And then this piece of petrified wood, I think that this one's actually agatized, but it looks really nice. Basically, this side just has this big groove in it right there, and we probably won't get rid of that, but there's a couple little spots yet, like there's a little chip in that corner. I wouldn't mind rounding that off. Other than that, it doesn't look too bad. That one could move along quite quickly. And then we have this one that was with those, and still after grinding for a week, I don't necessarily don't know what it is. I don't necessarily think it's petrified wood, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll see how things go with it, but we're just going to keep tumbling it. So we have a lot of room in the barrel today. And I think that we will I'm thinking we're just going to top the barrel off with some of our rose quartz and our amethyst to have some of that going. Because some of this amethyst I left in bigger pieces. We cut it on the saw. And if I get it wet, you can really see all the colors in it. So a lot of this will probably roll for a long time. So I'm going to put a lot of the larger pieces in here. It's easier to do the smaller pieces in the 3-pound barrel. If I run it in the 3-pound barrel, it's obviously better to have the smaller pieces. So we'll put those in, get a little color in this barrel. And then I was going to throw in some of the larger pieces of the rose quartz that we have yet too. one more of these. I think that should do it. So we've got all of our rocks in there. We've got the water in there. I might give it just a little another shot of water. And then we have our 14 tablespoons of the 4670. And that's ready to go on the tumbler, and we'll let it roll for another week. Thanks for watching.